On last week, we saw how the week ended. Taulia Tagovailoa entered the NCAA transfer portal. Some fans were shocked by this. Other fans were like, well, we knew it was going to happen, but it was only a matter of time of when it would happen. So Leah in the transfer portal, and immediately the thought was, what does this do for Bryce Young? Bryce Young, the potential phenom here. Bryce Young, the hotshot five-star quarterback out of Mater Dei High School in California. Bryce Young, the hot car. He's the Corvette. He's the Maserati. He's the Ferrari. He's the Mercedes-Benz. He's the Bentley. He's that fresh pair of retro Jordans that you just got to cop when they come into the store. So while this is a big deal for Young, as it puts him square in the conversation of battling for that starting job, trying to take it away from one, Mac Jones, and along with that, battling for the number 2 position to back up behind Jones. As much as this is big for Young, the other quarterback that not a lot of people talk about, not a lot of people conversate on, and he is just waiting in the cut going, I'm about to have my shot to introduce myself to the Alabama fan base in the college football world, that being one Paul Tyson. And for me, this is big for Paul just due to, I remember talking with one Bobby Humphrey, former Alabama running back Bobby Humphrey. Recall this about a year ago. And Humphrey was one of the first guys to literally get his hands on Paul, help train Paul, help work with Paul in terms of being a quarterback. And when I spoke with Humphrey last year, he talked about Paul. He watched all of Paul his junior year at Hewitt-Trussville High School in Alabama, and he watched half of Paul his senior year of high school. And he said, Paul is one of the most accurate high school quarterbacks I've ever laid my eyes on. 75 to 80% of his passes were dead on. He was dropping them in the breadbasket, as you're watching the huddle tape here on screen of Paul Tyson. He's dropping the ball in the breadbasket of these wide receivers. They're not having to stop. They're not having to slow down. They're not having to overly adjust or look behind them or contort their body. He's putting the ball, dropping it in the breadbasket every single time. Highly accurate quarterback. And this is coming from, once again, former Alabama running back Bobby Humphrey. And when Paul came into the University of Alabama in the 2019 class, some fans had this idea of, well, the only reason why Alabama got him was he's Paul Bear Bryant's great-grandson. Nothing too great about him, nothing too big about him. He's just Paul Bear Bryant's great-grandson. Big guy, lanky guy, tall guy, not overly athletic. Alabama just recruited him in based on the legacy name. Let me just tell you this right now. Paul Tyson had about 30 offers coming out of high school. And among those 30 offers, Wisconsin wanted him, USC, the Trojans offered him, the Oregon Ducks offered him, Notre Dame, Michigan, and LSU. So I just raffled off. There are a couple of big marquee programs that want the service of Paul Tyson. He chose to come to Alabama because he wants to defend home. This is home here. He wants to defend the home turf, the home ground, and it doesn't get any more Bama factor. That's the term Nick Saban has been preaching about. He's been talking about. He's been spouting off on a tangent about for the longest of time here. Recall it, or now name it, 2 years. But it doesn't get any more Bama factor than Tyson because he has lived this. He knows the tradition. He knows the importance. He knows the history. He knows what it means to, he knows what it means to win and the importance of it to win. Just seeing how his great-grandfather, Paul Bear Bryant, Wallace Wade and Frank Thomas did a phenomenal job with this program. They got the ball rolling, right? Winning national championships. But Bear Bryant took what they did and put it on a national level, on a big level, on a marquee level to where when you play Alabama, you fear Alabama. When you play Alabama, you respect Alabama. When you play Alabama, you know you are about to play Alabama. And in the 60s and 70s, it got no bigger, it got no brighter, it got no better than Crimson Tide football under Paul Bryant. I mean, when opposing teams stepped off their bus, they peed their pants, they crapped their pants because they knew, I gotta play that. I gotta play I gotta play Paul Bryant. I gotta play Alabama football. I did not sign up for this. So Paul Bear brought a sense of respect, brought a sense of reverence, brought a sense of, when Alabama comes to town, or when you come to face Alabama, you know what the deal is. So Paul Tyson grew up in all of this. And you look at what he did in high school, 4-star quarterback at Hewitt-Trussville, 19-5, as a starter. He was 11-1 his first year there in 2017, and a young man that threw for nearly 7,000 passing yards, 6,580 passing yards, 69 touchdowns to just 13 picks, got the Huskies to the playoffs both years, 2017 and 2018, got them to the quarterfinal round of the Class 7A state playoffs. And I, for one, that always says this: if a prospect's not good, if a prospect's not good enough, if a prospect doesn't have what it takes to be at Bama, does Nick Saban really go after them and recruit them? More than likely not. Nick Saban goes out there, he recruits Paul Tyson because he sees this is a young man that's got a very exceptional arm, very smart, highly intelligent, has the instincts and the intangibles. Of course, on last week, we had former Alabama defensive lineman and the head coach of Bessemer City High School, Rudy Griffin, on the show. And Coach Griffin competed, on the same field, competed against Paul Tyson in practice, got a chance to coach him 2017 and 2018. So he knows what Tyson is about. And if you go back here and watch the film, I know I'm not the lead scouting and recruiting analyst for TDA. That's Justin Smith, who does an unbelievable job. But I break down quite the amount of film in my spare time. And when I look at Paul Tyson, when I watch his film, 4 NFL quarterbacks immediately hit my mind. Call me crazy, call me a conspiracy theorist, call me Steve, you don't know what you're talking about, but I break down the film. I take it frame by frame, bit by bit, piece by piece. So check this out. These are the 4 quarterbacks I've seen in Paul Tyson's game right now in the NFL. Number 1, as far as the size, he's Ben Roethlisberger. At 6'5", 235 pounds, Paul Tyson resembles, Ben Roethlisberger. In terms of his footwork, maneuvering in the pocket, climbing the pocket, being able to, keep himself on schedule in terms of the feet, he's Big Ben in his prime. There's also a little bit of Aaron Rodgers there in terms of the footwork. Arm talent, when you discuss arm strength, accuracy, precision, ball placement, anticipation, touch on the ball, torque on the ball, when do I put heat on the ball, all of those arm talent things, it's Phillip Rivers. A lot of Phillip Rivers. And funny I mentioned that because in talking to a lot of coaches that have worked with Paul, they told me, Steven, you're not off base here because he patterns his game. He models his game after Phillip Rivers. And then, of course, the leadership intangibles, being able to be a true leader on the field, he has a lot of Tom Brady in him. Going back to talking with Coach Rudy Griffin, he mentioned that to me, got a lot of Tom Brady. So Big Ben, Aaron Rodgers, Phillip Rivers, Tom Brady, all 4 those quarterbacks in Paul's game. And what's interesting here is, and it's crazy that I bring this up because remember 2017, just a minute here, 2 quarterbacks came to Alabama in that 2017 class. It was Tua Tagovailoa out of Hawaii and Mac Jones out of Jacksonville, Florida. Tua got all the press clippings. He got all the hype. He got all the attention. It was King Tua. Alabama had never recruited somebody, signed somebody from the islands before. 5-star lefty, number 1 dual threat quarterback, number 1 pocket passer. Trent Dilfer was talking about him every single chance. He got a chance to speak on him, and Tua lived up to the hype. He lived up to it. He hit on every sense of the attention that he got, despite the injuries, because you want to see him do more. But even with the injuries, Tua still hit on all of the expectations. But he came in under all the hype here. Mac Jones, who came in from Jacksonville, Florida, the Bowl School, he came from a championship pedigree program under the late, great Corky Rogers. We had Brent Beard on this show talking about this once before. And though Mac Jones came from a winning powerhouse program, he did not get a lot of attention. He did not get a lot of fanfare. He came in, kept his head down, went to work, and it's interesting how 2 years later, the quarterback that came with all the fanfare in Tua gets hurt against Tennessee, got hurt again against Mississippi State, and Mac Jones, the one that didn't have all the fanfare, here he comes saying, hey guys, let me introduce myself to the world. I'm Mac 10, I'm Mac Jones, I can run this offense. Am I Tua? Absolutely not. But I can run this offense, seeing how I hate to lose. What matters to me is winning. And just as competitive as Coach Nick Saban, I'm just that competitive, probably even more competitive than my head coach. So 2019, you had Taulia Tagovailoa and Paul Tyson come in at the same time. Everybody was saying, we already got King Tua. Here's Prince Leah. When Tua graduates off to the NFL, we're going to have Prince Leah. He's going to fall right into place. He's going to do the thing. He is going to continue that legacy. No one spoke a lot about Paul. Paul had a handful of guys. Oh, wait, there's Paul Tyson. Hey, Paul, how you doing? Oh, wait, that's Bear Bryant's kid. Paul, I see you over there by the water cooler. Paul did not get much love as Leah got. But Taulia in the portal, this opens up the door fully now for Paul Tyson to say, y'all know my great-grandfather. He's got a lot of things here in terms of this institution. Paul Bear Bryant Drive, Bryant-Denny Stadium. Everybody's rocking houndstooth. Y'all all know what my great-grandpappy did, but I'm Paul Tyson. And let me show you why I'm just as good as everybody else here in this roster. Paul Tyson is going to have an opportunity to get on the field and get himself into games and prove I got the arm, I got the intangibles, I got the body, I got the instincts, I got the mindset. I can operate this offense. So as much as this is big for Bryce Young, and it is, do not snooze, do not sleep, do not turn your nose up at Paul Tyson. This guy, bigger than the name, real deal here. We're going to go to our first break here on In My Own Words, the podcast. Don't touch that dial here. Just getting started on a Monday. When we get back, we unpack, we discuss your phone calls, tweets, thoughts, text messages, questions, and concerns right after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.